Welcome to DasGeek. If there's something that you'll get out of this video, it's please back up your files. I've had lots of people over the years come to me with missing baby photos, missing family photos, work that they had worked on for years or more, whether it be programming code or other things where they've lost their files because they didn't do proper backups. And that can happen in anything. Maybe you're just doing something standard like reinstalling an operating system and you click something wrong, or you don't understand one of the selection menus and you overwrite all your files and they're gone. So especially if you're starting to get into Linux heavily and you're distro hopping, backing up your personal files can be really important. So I have been distro hopping, as you know, after the 30 days of Linux, trying to find my home. Manjaro is the operating system that out of all of them I love the most, although there are so many to love out there and there are so many good distributions. But I wanted to find some programs out there to do some backups for me. Now, obviously, there are options that you can go through the terminal. You can use tar, you can set up scripts and do some of this stuff a lot more manual, but I just wanted software to do it for me. I didn't want to have to do a bunch of work writing scripts or figuring things out. I wanted it to be simple, much like you would have in Time Machine on Mac OS. And so what I went for is a hunt on something that the community had created and what they recommended. I went through websites, forums, and was just doing general searches to see what I could find. And I came up with dozens of awesome options out there. One of the ones that I was more familiar with would be Clonezilla if you wanted to create an absolute clone of your hard drive. And that would be very important if you want not only your personal files, but also your system files. But you have to have a lot of storage for that. I wanted something more on the personal files line because for me, installing Linux, I don't set up a lot of macros and things like that where I really care. So installing Linux is very simple and easy and quick. And obviously, it doesn't require any codes or product key codes or anything else that I have to hunt down. I don't have to call up Microsoft and wait online and punch in my product key to wait for them to tell me it's okay for me to install it on another system or that I've installed it on too many systems. I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to deal with my video editor. I don't have to do it with my music. That's the beauty of open source. That's the beauty of being in the Linux world. I can go install Linux, download my video editor, download GIMP, download Inkscape, download my music players and everything else and be up and running in minutes without ever having to enter a product key. But some of you who've gone through a lot of setups and things may want to back up your system files. And that's where the best program I found, again, for my taste and wanting something simple that's on a schedule that regularly backs up my system was Timeshift. Now, Timeshift will go out there. It's very simple to actually go in and create. You can go into your settings and set up a snapshot type of what you're wanting to grab. You can set up the location. You can see I'm going to an external hard drive here. You can set it up on a schedule. I mean, this is literally next click. I mean, you could not get any simpler than this. And then you could set up filters if you want to add some things in there that normally wouldn't be backed up. And this is really important because Timeshift is mainly meant to give you a snapshot of your system and its files. And I can show you that if we go in and we look at a Timeshift backup in one of the snapshots, you can see that bin, boot, dev, etc file, system, variable, all of your core system files here are backed up. But what about your personal files? Well, as you're going through Timeshift, there was a little area that prompted me that said, if you're worried about personal files, when I was setting up filters, maybe you should check out a program called Back in Time. And who am I to argue? So I went and checked out Back in Time, and man, did I fall in love. Talk about meeting exactly what I needed. So here is the snapshot for Back in Time, and we can go in here and we can do take a snapshot. Of course, we can set this up on a schedule. So you can see I have it in local mode. I just set up a mount folder for my external drive where I wanted it to back up. So I created a Linux backup directory using mkdir Linux backup, and then I mounted my external drive to that area. So that's where it's going to save my snapshot. And we can see that here. I can go to Back in Time. You can see it's under DasGeek. I can pick a date, any of those dates. You can see it's taking regular snapshots of my personal files, go to backup, home, and now I have the core documents that I want to back up. My documents, my music, my pictures, and my videos are all right there. And so I tell it to do this every 6 hours because when I'm in the middle of creating video and content, I don't really want my system going through writing stuff to external drives. I want all of the power and resources of my system devoted to the recordings or video editing or rendering and that type of thing. So every 6 hours is a perfect time. These are what I want to include. I can add a file, I can add folders that I want to include, I could exclude things, I could auto remove things once they get to a certain age. We could set up all kinds of different options and expert options here as well. You really can't get any simpler than this. And it's automatically done on a schedule, and you can see all the snapshots. So if I want to restore one of these, I can just click on the date, go to restore, and tell it to restore to wherever I want, and I'm good to go. Or if I'm in an emergency, I can just simply go into that actual backup itself and click and drag the file that I want onto my desktop and start working. So it's just a perfect solution. So there are many solutions to back up your Linux system, but Back in Time and Timeshift are two really cool ones that I'm using right now. And I'm going to set them up so that they actually start backing up to a NAS that I'm getting here soon, which will be our next video coming in a couple of weeks, which I think you will find very fascinating, which will be a NAS completely based in Linux. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Leave your comments below. Let me know what backup solutions that you have used that work perfectly with Linux. Like I said, there are dozens of options in many different ways you can back up your system to meet your needs. These two work for me, but they're not the only options out there. Also, if you want to support the channel, I would be super appreciative if you click that subscribe button. But also, I've got a little campaign going. Speaking of art and things you don't want to lose, we've got the first Teespring t-shirts out there for DasGeek channel, so you can go and grab yourself one. You get that awesome logo there up front and the Fill Your Brains on the back of the t-shirt, and I would be most appreciative for you to support that, and also appreciate those who have already supported it to the tune of it is ready to ship, meaning you have to get a certain quantity before they will print these. We've met that quantity requirement, so these are going to be printed. So thank you all for your support of the channel. We are nearing 2,500 people, subscribers, and we have 500,000 views and lots of people on Twitter. So I hope most of you will also follow the channel here on YouTube. But if you're not on my Twitter, check that out for new news and information. And until next time, as the t-shirt says, get out there and fill your brains.
Don't get subscribed. Does not like the video.